Welcome to Eurosport and tonight's coverage of Stage 10 of the Paris-Dakar Cara Rally, 23rd edition of the Dakar. And after yesterday's dramatic crash, a dramatic change in the leadership. Leader, KTM rider Juan Roma, last of the factory KTM riders, is out, leaving Richard Sainct at the head of a BMW 1, 2, 3, 4. And the buggies of Servier and Schlesser win the 10th special stage to consolidate Schlesser's lead. The 1990 car and bike winners are back in control. Well, this is today's 10th stage on day 17 of the Dakar. Al Khofra to Dakhla, a total of 789 kilometers, taking the rally out of Libya to Egypt. This is a very varied stage and a mass start for 99 and bikes at the remaining of the 200 original starters. Very varied terrain ahead of them, off-piste, canyons, dunes, and the great sand sea once they've crossed the Egyptian border. Well, rally-long leader Juan Roma is in there, but he's waiting for Richard Sainct in order to follow him for tactical reasons. Roma on the KTM, Sainct on the factory BMW in second place. There he is, there is Roma, just hanging back, looking around. Where's Sainct? What he doesn't know is that Richard Sainct has lost 3 minutes at the start when his bike refused to fire up. He eventually gets it going. While behind Roma, Jürgen Meyer, KTM backup rider, of course, is doing the same thing because he needs to know that his team leader is okay. Now, Meyer's riding the 1999 version of the KTM as a backup bike, and Juan Roma is the last of the KTM riders in the event. So rather strange tactics here, team tactics, as they head out of the last Libyan stage, Al Khofra. Roma, Jürgen Meyer, still looking over their shoulders. Richard Sainct now starting to catch up. Will the two KTM riders get together and say what's going on? Perhaps deciding that Sainct isn't going to make it, but he does. Here he is. 1999 Dakar winner Richard Sainct, the Frenchman, on the BMW single, the 660 BMW, and there right behind him now Juan Roma, who's found him and is going to follow him all day long if he can. Oh, wonderful desert shots again, another high-speed day on the roller coaster dunes here in Libya, heading for those distant mountains, looking for the pass that's going to take them out of Libya and into Egypt. In Egypt they'll be in the western, or the Libyan desert as it's called, scene of course of the greatest tank battles in history in World War II, and today very fast again, motorway style riding across the flat sands of the Sahara. So Richard Sainct, second on the rally, still being followed by the overall rally leader Juan Roma, the Spaniard, putting in such a good effort this year, and his team manager Hans Trunkenpott saying this guy has ridden absolutely brilliantly. He puts him in the same mould as Stefan Peter Hansel and Cyril Neveu in the greats of the Dakar. That's not to overlook either BMW factory rider of the 80s, Gaston Rai, the little Belgian, the Lion of Africa, who won 3 times. And BMW, of course, at the moment, very, very well placed to take control if there's any problem for KTM. Oscar Gallardo, BMW, arrives at the Egyptian border. Here is the border post. Thus the military there, along with the Terry Sabine organisation people. Egypt now the final country of 5 they have crossed since leaving Dakar on January 6, apart from a little hiccup for 4 or 5 days when they had to airlift themselves across Niger to avoid Islamic terrorism. So Sainct refuels, but he believes he cannot beat the KTMs on the sand. Well, Sainct told us it's impossible really to make time up on Roma. The course is too easy, it's just flat out, and we don't have the speed the KTMs have. There are no problems of navigation, it's very clear today. We've just got to head for that pass, and Roma's going to have no trouble beating us if he continues at this rate. It's impossible for us. Well, no sooner has he said that than Juan Roma stops at kilometre 639 with mechanical problems. He tries to make repairs, but it now turns out his engine is broken. He's waiting for assistance as Jürgen Meyer stops. Roma's backup and teammate asks what's going on, but Roma's out, and look at this, Roma in tears, and Jürgen Meyer consoles him. All 5 factory KTMs are out, just Meyer and Cox in the backup bikes are left. Well, the distraught Spaniard says, we came together all the way without any trouble on the stage, but my engine just gave up. It's terrible luck. Every day you go over rocks without any trouble, and for no reason this happens. It makes no sense. No sense at all. Well, the emotion just pouring out of the Spaniard. The man who's dominated this rally and was the moral victor to this point, but now BMW in charge. KTM still going though, Eric Bernard of France, no, not the sports car driver, but the other Eric Bernard, now up into 6th place and up into 17th place. Eric Verhoef of Holland there on the KTM in top action. But don't forget, all these KTMs now, either privateer or backup ones, like Jürgen Meyer here, who's moved up into 5th, the German, in action, but they're all demoralized by this series of failures. 5 KTMs out, including Heinz Kindergartner after that massive crash 2 days ago. Jean Brucy there, we just saw for BMW, and Oscar Gallardo, here he is in that lonely landscape. Gallardo wins the stage, 7 hours, 9 minutes and 24 seconds on his single-cylinder 666 BMW. Great performance there over a long stage. And no one, it seems, can beat him, but Jimmy Lewis comes in then, the American on the 2-cylinder Boxer 900 BMW, and he takes exactly the same time. That's 7 hours, 9 minutes, 24 seconds, a dead heat, the first time in 7 years on the Dakar. Jimmy Lewis, stage winner yesterday, does it again today in company with Oscar Gallardo. What a great, dramatic day for the bikes here on the 23rd of the Dakars. Gallardo and Lewis dead heating there. Rich Sykes 8 seconds behind them. That's how close it's been today. Jean Brucy in 4th and Jürgen Meyer, the first of the non-BMWs, in 5th place on the stage. So Richard Sykes consolidates his lead at the top, 44 minutes from Oscar Gallardo. Jimmy Lewis an hour back, and Jean Brucy 2 hours back, with Meyer 2.5 hours down. Well, we talked to Jimmy Lewis.
First year with the bike, so we were kind of surprised that it was as competitive as it was. It was just more of a, I think initially it was a year for development, and as well as developing it, we've been running the bike up in the front, so we've had like a double duty, and in the beginning a couple of little problems we had were stuff that, you know, that next year won't happen again, and so that'd be the biggest difference. Other than that, you know, the one little crash that I had that, you know, put a couple dents in the bike, that hurt me a little bit too, but other than that, it's been a pretty good rally. I mean, just kind of go steady and get the bike to the finish was the main concern.
So again, a delicious irony about an American winning 1 and 2 stages in Libya. Well, Jürgen Meyer, he told us about his disappointment. It seems at 100 kilometers before the end, the KTM of Roma broke its engine. And of course, one was the overall leader. Well, it's terrible luck for Juan Roma, but sort of luck for me, because I'm now the top KTM rider. But I want to change the situation now that KTM can win this rally. I know I've got 4 BMWs ahead of me, but I'm not happy today because it was really our target to win the Dakar. We failed. I'm now 5th. It's not so bad, but I cannot be happy with that, and I'm going to be pushing now for the remaining 3 days. Well, those remaining 3 days, really only 2, because there's only a 10-kilometer stage on Sunday's finish.
Tommi Mäkinen knows that it takes courage, dedication.
A big loop from Dakhla to Dakhla, and the new Bike winner Estef Pujol as Thierry Delavenne rolls his Nissan in the middle of the desert. Jean-Pierre Fontenay wins the special, but Jean-Louis Schlesser keeps the car lead and Richard Sykes still leads the bikes. BMW 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you join me, Mark Cole, on day 16 of the Dakar. 113 of the 200 bikes that started the rally still in the running on this 352-kilometre special. Beautiful scenery, perhaps some of the best we have seen on the whole event in Egypt's western desert. Isolated dunes and valleys of white marble. And at the end of this stage, a steep drop down to the finish, a drop which if you get wrong, you cannot get back up. So your navigation is all important today. This is Egypt in all her splendor. And this part of the western desert around Dakhla is where the natron mines are, where the natron which was used to mummify the pharaohs 3,000 years ago came from, in the quarries and mines in this area. This is the Egypt very few travelers see. It's so far out to the west of the Nile. So inhospitable. But only those lucky enough to be on the rally really get the chance to burrow into this landscape. Well, this man is Isidre Estef Pujol, the Spanish KTM rider. It's a KTM 640, 27-year-old factory backup. Goes through to win the class today. What a glorious day for him, with a little help from Alfie Cox, who was in the lead at the first control point, but then lost a lot of time because Cox slowed to help his teammate Jürgen Meyer. Meyer was running second today, but then had a broken chain. So Pujol will win the stage, despite running the last 50 kilometers on his reserve fuel. We've only 2 more stages to go after today. Perhaps it's not unexpected that it was privateers who won, and this white man, Pierre Gunnar Lundmark, another KTM rider from Sweden, he finished second on the stage. He's a motocross rider, Pujol's an enduro rider, and perhaps underlining BMW now starting to back off with their goal almost in sight. That KTM, of course, of Lundmark, a marathon bike, just a standard bike. We're on board now with Francois Flick. He's riding in 7th place as he arrives to find Eric Verhoef, the Dutchman, who's crashed. And Verhoef, not badly injured, but he's crashed badly enough to put himself out of the rally, and helicopter assistance is called for. Here comes the Vietnam fleet. This is kilometre 25. Hubert Oriol discussing with Verhoef what happened.
It's flat, suddenly there's little waves.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I recall them.
Huh?
I recall them.
Yeah, and you tipped over.
They're working out it's the little waves in the dune that actually tipped him over. Well, Francois Flick, again, we're on board with him now. On board bike. I saw my friend Eric fall heavily. I hope he's okay. The sand is like moguls in the snow. It destabilizes you and you have to take great care. I'm not too old and I feel great riding this kind of course. Hopefully if I do well this year I can get a factory ride next time. Well, Flick is, as we say, 7th overall, and he's 36 years old and never too old to learn. Being passed there by a number of the KTMs. A number of the few KTMs left in the running. As they charge through this wonderful scenery here in Egypt, jumping for joy. With just the main stage tomorrow to go before the final stage on Sunday, a 10-kilometre dash round El Fayum and up to the Great Pyramids. The 4 BMWs now riding together. First Richard Sykes, second Oscar Gallardo, third Jimmy Lewis, and fourth Jean Brucy. But Sykes has 45 minutes over his teammate, and they're now protecting him. The British bikers, on 21st place, Dave Hammond, the 36-year-old on his KTM 660. In 69th place, Ray Dehaan on his KTM 660. He's 33 years old. And in 91st place, Paul Maguire from Ireland, KTM 660. 32nd on today's stage. That was a good performance for the 33-year-old. And in 92nd place, Vinny Fitzsimon, also from Ireland, also KTM 660, and he's 30 years old. And from Dublin. Well, the finish line is ahead for the BMWs, and look at this, some of the most magnificent scenery in Africa. Land of the Pharaohs, 1 million square kilometers, and much of it like this, apart from the Nile Valley, where 90% of the 60 million population live. Well, today's results, as we said, Isidro Estef Pujol winning the stage. From Lundmark, Brucey, Cox, Sainz and Oscar Gallardo. Jimmy Lewis in 7th today. All the BMWs just taking it easy to protect their leader, Richard Sainz. There he is. He's got 45 minutes over his teammate Gallardo, his teammate Lewis and his teammate Brucey, with Jürgen Meyer on the KTM 5th despite that broken chain. Well, let's hear what some of them thought about the stage today. A day for privateers, and Estef Pujol saying, I was frightened I was going around to fuel around 50 kilometers. The bike missed a couple of times, so I switched on to my reserve. I thought it was over, but I kept going and won. I'm very surprised, but of course I'm also very happy. It's a good day for me, good day for Spain, and a good day for us privateers. I'm an enduro rider normally, and this is going to be something to put in my book, in my career book.
Pero creo que ahora detrás vendrá Nani Roma y Alfie Cox vendrán muy rápido.
Likewise, Sweden's Per-Gunnar Lundmark, the man who finished 2nd on the stage, that motocross rider. Well, it's fantastic to finish today in 2nd place, he said, but I really, to be fair, I don't think Sainz to the BMW squad were at full speed today. That's probably why I'm up there near the top, but doesn't matter, it's in the book now. And today was great for me, very technical riding, just like the motocross I do at home in Sweden. You've probably seen the pictures, a lot of passes and drops and jumps, and that's what I love. It suits me like this, because being a privateer, I've got 20 horsepower less than the factory bikes, and that means I'm around 30 kilometers an hour slower on the straight sections. Keep it tight, keep it rough, that's what I like. So a fairly quiet day on the bike front, except for those privateers winning. After the break, we'll have a look at the cars. The Nissan goes into a series of rolls after hitting a lump, and Roma sees the whole thing. This is 18 kilometers from the start, and they all run, including Roma, to see if they can help. Well, Thierry de Laverne and Jacques Dubois are out of the car, and Thierry de Laverne tells us just what happened. Well, we were going around 160 kilometers, and suddenly we got in someone's dust, and well, we hit a bump. I think we may have rolled 10 times. After that, we went. Well, it was incredible. We had no power steering, it looks like. That was something incredible. Well, he says he's unhurt, and they get 2 of their punctured wheels replaced, and would you believe they drive off, the Nissan driver continuing. That really was a big turn up for the book today. Roma just sitting there discussing his problems when there's a huge accident in the background. And indeed, de Laverne keeps his 8th place. Not only that, but finishes 11th on the stage. We're on board with Dagmar Likens, riding in one of the Mitsubishis.
Moi, je prends jamais des vacances pareilles à la piscine, rien faire. Donc, c'était quand même difficile, oui.
Well, Andrea telling us we had mechanical problems. Our main problem was there was no swimming pool in Niemi. We had a 4-day wait, and we didn't even get wet. Oh, this is really the essence of the Dakar. Look at this. Buggies, bikes, cars and trucks all plunging over these incredible escarpments. We're back with the Dakar, and here's one of the trophies inside the Dakar, the Drum Toyota Trophy. This is for privateers using turnkey Toyota turbo diesel Land Cruisers. They can buy them for around about £57,000. You buy the car and you get all the package included. And running last in that 10-car category at the moment is